The battle for the Necron's labyrinthine lair has become a grinding campaign of attrition. The Necrons have detected the presence of Imperial vessels in Megarian orbit. If they are to stop the coming invasion in its tracks, they must first break out of their repair facility and prepare their positions on the moon's surface. Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer 40,000 Imperium playthrough. This week we are playing through issue 10. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and set up the board ready. Now we're using 3 Assault Intercessors set up on marker C, 5 Necron Warriors with Gorz Flayers, and 5 Necron Warriors with Gorz Reapers. So the Reapers are the shorter barreled, double barreled weapons, and the Flayers are the large ones. So a new rule that we are looking at here through this playthrough, or a few new rules being introduced. The first of which is unit coherency. Now I have touched on this a little bit in previous episodes, however the magazine are now introducing it, and so it's time to start actually following it. So unit coherency. Each model's in a single unit, so obviously we have one unit here, a unit here, and the Assault Intercessors. Every model must be within 2 inches of 2 other models from the same unit. So for example, a line like this is not unit coherency. The guys on the outer ends are not within 2 inches of 2 models. Now he's within 2 inches of this model, but he's not within 2 inches of this model. Now you can, if you look at the size of the bases, they are 1 inch from side to side. So you could essentially have them like this. Base to base would put them within 2 inches because he would be within 2 inches of this one and this one. But they would have to remain base to base contact throughout their movement. So the better lineup now, if you have a large line, assuming that this continues down the board, there's 10 warriors, and on either end you can have this, and then every unit or every model in the middle of this triangle at either end is within 2 inches. Obviously you've got within 2 inches here and within 2 inches here, and then obviously this guy is within 2 inches of these two, this one within 2 inches of these two, and this one within 2 inches of these 3. So unit coherency is that. Now there is a little bit with terrain and height, but they do mention that in a few magazines time, or a few issues time, and we'll cover that at that time rather than confusing you guys with extra rules now. So the important one is unit coherency. Next is moving units. So moving units, all models must end their move within unit coherency. So obviously they are not coherent right now, but we're in the middle of a move. By the time all models are moved here, they must be within the 2 inches of 2 other models. Shooting units. Start your shooting phase by selecting an eligible unit to shoot, and then select a target for each shooting model. In order to target an enemy unit, at least one model from that unit must be within range of the weapon being used. All of a weapon's attacks must target the same enemy unit. However, models within a unit can shoot at different targets, but this must be declared before any dice are rolled. So, obviously the Assault Intercessors over the top, assuming they were in range, they had a weapon that was in range of both of these units. 2 of them could shoot at this unit, and the 3rd guy could shoot at this unit. Assuming they had more than 1 shot each, one of them guys cannot fire 1 shot at this unit and 1 shot at this unit. He needs to fire both shots from the same weapon at the same unit. So if one guy is shooting, his shots must be fired at the same unit. If more than one guy is shooting, then they can target different units, assuming they're within range of all units. And then finally we have charging with units, or second to last, sorry. Select a unit that is eligible to charge and choose a unit as the target. Make one charge roll for all models in the unit. If the charge roll is successful, move all models from the charging unit this distance. So obviously we've covered this. This new part, a unit can select multiple enemy units as the target of its charge, but must be able to reach both enemy units in order for the charge to succeed. So the example that they show in the magazine will assume that these are two separate units and that this is an attacking unit. So we've got an attacking unit here. Now they want to charge at both. Now we'll say the distance on this one is slightly more. They roll enough to reach this one, but not this one. They can't charge. It's a fail because they need to both succeed. If they both succeed, they can both attack or charge, make the charge. However, unit coherency has to remain. So we can tell that, obviously we can see that these two guys are too far apart. Let's say they've got 3. He's too far apart from him. So they wouldn't be able to, they would have to be more here when they end their charge, and that would be fine because obviously they're within 2 inches of each other and they are attacking 2 separate units, so that is okay. Then obviously when you're working out what models fight, when selecting a unit to fight, it first piles in, and then models in the unit make close combats. When a unit piles in, you can move 3 inches. This is a pile-in move. Each model must finish its pile-in move closer to the nearest enemy model. So the only thing it doesn't say here, or explain, is how you do the attacks. Now I'm assuming that because you attack with a whole unit, you would say, right, well this model is closest to this one, this model is closest to this one, so these two attack him, and then this one attacks this one. Or you would have to pick all of them to attack one, they won't be able to attack the other, or a few ors in this one. And if anybody knows the answer to this, let me know in the comments below, because I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But you could have all 3 attack this unit and then all 3 attack this unit. I'm not sure how it works. So for playing purposes, I'm going to say that you can split the models. However many models attack this one, and then the remaining models can attack the other one. You just have to keep note of it. I think that is the way that it works. If I am wrong, then I'm sure one of you guys will correct me down below. So with that being the basic rules slightly updated, we do get some rules references and such on the sheets included in this issue, and obviously we've got the data sheets that are now a little bit more, or they are up to date for the 2 or 3 units. Technically it's 2 units, but obviously these guys have 2 different weapons, so make sure you are referencing the correct weapon when making attacks. Obviously we've got the Gauze Flayers and the Gauze Reapers. So with that said, let's get on with the game. Now the idea or the objective here is for at least one model to hit the objective marker on the end of the board, and for the 3 intercessors to stop them, which is probably going to be quite difficult. But we'll start with the Necrons, so they go first. So what we're going to do is try and speed these guys here right up the board, and we'll use these Necrons or these warriors as a distraction for these guys. Hopefully it works. Hopefully they don't try and charge these instead. We'll see. We may be able to lock them into close combat. So we're going to advance. So we take 1d6 and bounce it up the pot. So we got a 4 plus the 5-inch movement gives us 9. So let's place the range ruler or the ruler at the start there. Move the 9 inches to there, and then obviously move all the remaining models behind. Now I know that they were roughly in this. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Just get it roughly the same and just make sure that they are in coherency at the end. Now they advanced and they are using assault weapons. And the beauty of assault weapons is you can advance and shoot, but you have to subtract 1 from the hit roll when you are doing so. So, next movement, we are going to... We're going to move these guys, they're 5 inches. Now, they can move and shoot, and they have rapid fire weapons, which allows them to shoot twice within half range. So they are a range of 24 inches, and they can shoot twice within 12 inches, which they are pretty much in. But I'm going to move them the 5 inches ahead anyway, just so we've got them up the board a little bit to tie up them Space Marines. Okay, so shooting. Now we've got this unit here, advanced. They can fire. Their range is 12 inches, which doesn't reach the Space Marines. They are out of range. So next firing unit will be these guys here, and obviously they are going to fire. So these weapons are rapid fire 1, so they fire 1 shot, but they are within half range, so they fire 2 shots for a total of 10 dice. Right, so we need 3s or more. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 misses and 6 hits. Now to wound, the strength of a Gauze Flayer is 4 and the toughness of an Assault Intercessor is 4. So because they are even, or they are the same, we have to roll 4 or greater to wound. So we've got 1, 2, 3, bounce off the armour, and 3, hit it. So moving on to the saving throw. Now the saving throw is a 3+, and the rapid or the Gauze Flayer has an AP of -1. So we roll our dice, we need 3s or greater. We subtract 1 from each of these, so obviously this one being a 1 failed. This one becomes a 3 which still passes. This becomes a 4 which still passes. So 1 wound and 2 saves. So all we will do is take a wound marker, place that onto one of our intercessors. Now they all have 2 wounds each, so we'll just place it on the back guy here. And that is the Necron's turn over. As far as I'm aware, because we shot with the rapid fire weapons, we can't charge. I may be wrong on that. And there is nothing here saying that they can't charge. So we'll charge. We have how to charge. If a unit is within 12 inches, it can try to charge each model in the charging unit. So it's only if they advance that they can't charge. So we'll play with charging for now. Again, these rules can be updated as we play through the magazine. I'm not 100% sure if you can move and charge. I think you can, but I'm not sure about shooting and then charging. Either way, let's have a look. So we got 8 inches. I know they are within the 8 inches. So what we're going to do is move them all up and get them into combat. Now you can see here, these 2 guys, they are not in unit coherency. But when we finish moving our models, get them all into base contact. So these guys, they are now all in within unit coherency. Let's just make sure. So we've got 2 inches between these 2, they are just in, and then obviously they are next to another guy each. Now we could move them that way and say, yep, they're in unit coherency. So next phase is the attack phase, or the fight phase. So the Necron warriors are going to attack with their hands, or you could say it's the blade on the end of the Gauze Flayer. They don't have any particular hand-to-hand weapons, so they only get the one attack each, and they hit on 3s or more. So we've got 5 dice needing 3s or more. That's 3 misses, and then we have 2 hits, and again the strength of a Necron is 4, the toughness of the Intercessor is 4. Now if you don't have any melee weapons when it comes to melee combat, you are assuming that they are using their fists, the butts of their weapons, anything like that, and the strength will and toughness and everything will always be that of the user. If they have a particular weapon, then that will usually then give some extra bonus to having that weapon. For example, the chainsword, although its strength is its user, it does AP 1 and it does 1 damage. With the sense of hand-to-hand combat, it will always do 1 damage. So we've got 2 successful wounds, and the Space Marines get to save on 3s or more. No, sorry, that was attacks, wasn't it? So the strength 4 and the toughness 4 means we roll 2 dice for wounds. Needing 4s or more, there is a fail. Right, so moving on to the Space Marines turn. Now the Space Marines, if they fall back, they can't shoot and they can't charge, or they can't advance. They may be able to charge, I'm not 100% sure. I am learning with you guys. I've played a couple of games, but I'm still a little bit unsure of the rules. So we're going to leave them in the melee combat. Not ideal, but it is what it is. However, with pistols, we can now see that it can be shot while within engagement range, but it can only target units within the engagement range. So because they are in hand-to-hand combat, they can shoot their pistols. So we're not going to move in the moving phase. We're going to move on to the shooting phase. And for that, we are going to shoot the pistols at the Necrons. So they're in hand-to-hand combat, but they can get their pistols in close range and just pop off a shot. So we've got the 3 intercessors. It's 3 dice, needing 3s or more. So 1 fails. The Necron knocks the gunner away, making him miss, and the other 2 hit. Now this is a pistol 1, strength 4, and it's toughness 4 for the Necrons. So again, we need 4s to wound, and they both successfully wound. The Necrons are going to save, and they save on a 4+. So 1 fail and 1 success. However, the pistol has an AP of -1, so this becomes a 4, which is still a success. So the Necron warriors lose 1 wound. So as they all have 1 wound each, we are going to remove a model. Now it's important that we keep unit coherency, so we are going to take away this model. That leaves this one within 2 inches of these 2, which is fine. Next up is the assault phase now, or the fight phase. So the Space Marines attack second, and then so the Necrons attack first and the Space Marines attack second. So again, we've only got the 4 Necrons now, needing 3s. Sorry, needing 3s, yep. So 3 successes, now needing 4s. That's 1 success 2 fails and killing a Necron there. And then we need the Space Marine to make a save on a 3 or more. So he saves, so that's fine. So the Space Marines now are going to attack back. Now, because it's not... yeah, that's right, because it is their turn. And they've already shot their pistol, so now they're going to attack back. A Space Marine Assault Intercessor gets 2 attacks with his chainsword. There's 3 of them. So what we will do is we'll make our little piling move and put him there so he can attack as well. So we got 6 dice, needing 3s. And 3 of them miss, so they all strike their first strike and their second one misses. And now we need 4s for the wound. So again, a miss there, and 2 Necrons are wounded. Now the Necrons get to save on a 4+, so that's a definite fail. And the chainsword has an AP of -1, so this 4 becomes a 3, which is another fail. So 2 more have died. Now you'll notice with the unit coherency we only have 2 models left. For the sake obviously of game, that would be unit coherency. There isn't another model to be within 2 inches of, so that there is legal for game purposes. And that there is the end of the Space Marines turn. So next up we're going to again advance these warriors for their turn to that point. So roll a dice and add 3, so we get 8 inches. So we'll move this guy, we'll get him 8 inches up the board and hope that we can make this. And you can see I'm just roughly placing them, they're within 2 inches, so it's good enough. The end guy may have moved a little bit more, but to be honest, all it's doing is he's just moving that bit more. The other guys have moved less, so you know, you don't have to be super picky about it, unless obviously it's going to give some kind of advantage. Then you know, in the object of fairness, you know, just play fair with it. The other models here, they can't attack, but they can fall back, so we could move them 5 inches away, but that would then leave the Assault Marines open to shooting them and charging these guys. So we're going to leave that there and enter straight to the fight phase. So the fight phase is the 2 Necron warriors. They get 1 attack each. Sorry, it's the Necron's turn. So because it's the Necron's turn, the Space Marines attack first. So they get their 6 dice, as they have 2 attacks each. So we have 1 fail and 5 successes this time. And then we need 4s. So we have another fail and 4 successes. And the 2 warriors need to roll 4s or greater to save. So we have 2 fails here. -1 for the AP there makes that a fail. And then we have 1 save. So that's 3 wounds and 1 save. However, the 2 Necron warriors only have 2 wounds between them, 1 wound each. So they are both destroyed. There we go. And that there is the end of the Necron's turn. There's no need for any other combat. There's no piling needed. We could pile in closer this way if we wanted to with the Marines. I believe that's how it works. But for purposes, I'm just going to leave them there and move on to their turn. So they are going to move their 6 inches towards the Necrons. So we'll get them here, here, get that out of the way, here and here. He's got his wound, and they are first going to shoot at the Necrons. So we have 1 fail and 2 successes, leading 4s, both of them wound, and now the Necrons need to save on 4s. So 1 fail and -1 AP for the pistol, turns that to a 3, so that's a fail as well. So 2 more Necrons are destroyed. Not looking good for these guys. Right, next up is the charge phase. So these Marines are going to charge the remaining Necrons, and we can move them 6 inches. Now I can tell you that 6 inches, even for the back guy there, he just makes it. So all we're going to do is bring them in like so. So that there is 2 inches between them all because they are in base contact, giving just enough to meet there. Now the remaining warriors, or moving on to the fight phase, sorry, the warriors go first because it is not their turn. So we've got 3 dice and 3 hits. We have 2 wounds and ooh, that's not good. So one save because they need a 3 or more to save, and 1 fail. So what we will do to make sure that we've still got our guys alive, this is this one, we'll put this wound on this guy, so we've still got 1 wound and 2 wounds. And next up is the Space Marines attack. So 6 dice using their chainswords. That's a miss and 5 successful hits. Now we need 4s to wound. So we have another 2 fail to wound, and we have 3 successes. And then finally the Necron warriors saving with 4s. So a fail. This one for -1 AP becomes a 4, so it's still a success, and that one is a 5. So 2 saves and a fail. So a Necron warrior is dead. We'll remove this guy just because he was the one at the back there. And that there is the end of the Space Marines turn. Now, the Necrons could fall back. They could fall back their 6 inches, or 5 inches, sorry. But I don't think it's going to be enough to get them to the end zone. And so they are going to just straight up stay where they are and attack the Marines. However, this isn't going to be fair because we're going straight into the fight phase, which means the Americans? The assault intercessors get to go first. I don't know why American popped up there. The assault intercessors get to go first, which kind of sucks because now the Necrons are going to die. All of them bar 1 hit. And 3 of them fail to wound, and so the 2 remaining, the Necrons, need to score 4s or greater, and both of them fail, resulting in 2 more Necron deaths. And there we go, another failure to the Necrons. I'm pretty sure you all saw that coming. Just goes to show how strong Space Marines are. A little bit OP if you ask me, and you know, I'm a Space Marines player as well as other races, and I do think that they are too strong. Now the only thing, or one other thing that I will say in terms of my playthrough here is the attacks when it is not their turn. So the Space Marines have 2 attacks each. I think, and I may be wrong on this may just be something that I've made up in my head and I think is right. In the official rules, it may be that if it's not their turn, they only get 1 attack each. But we are following with the rules that we've learnt so far, and unless I've forgotten them, they haven't told us that when it's not their turn, they only get the 1 attack instead of 2. So I've been playing it with 2 attacks. But otherwise, that is the playthrough for this time, guys. Obviously, if you're playing with a friend or whatever, you will swap sides and see if you can shut down your opponent or if they can make it to that end zone. But for now, if you've enjoyed the video, guys, hit that thumbs up button. If you are not yet subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you have recently subscribed, huge warm welcome to the inner circle to you. Thank you ever so much for your support. I am now streaming on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays and Sundays from 8 PM UK time. So if you want to watch me painting some live stuff, check it out there. I have considered doing YouTube lives, but I don't have enough followers, or I'm not entirely sure how live works with Facebook to be able to get people to come in to watch. So that's something that as I get more followers, more subscribers, I will start doing lives over here, maybe replacing Twitch. But for now, over to Twitch. Otherwise, guys, that is the end of the episode. Check out the other videos for this week. And until next time, take it easy and keep painting those minis.